Yeah.
I know. And they hit the eyeball. Well, I think that's what it is. That's really what it is. That's what it looks like to me.
That's what I call it.
Yeah, so you got everything right there.
That's even the technical clerk term.
His eyeball.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. Time to call to order the December 15th, 2022 meeting of the Oklahoma City Airport Trust. Our first item is to approve the minutes of the November 17th, 2022 Oklahoma City Airport Trust. Is there a motion and a second? And the item passes. Next up is the director's report.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. I don't have anything to report. We obviously just gathered this week to do a board working session. Appreciate everyone's time for that. I think it was a good exercise. So nothing to report. We have the attached reports that are typically in our board packet. So that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured I'd do that in front of, once we get through the next item.
Okay. So our next item is the annual comprehensive financial report ending FY22.
Yep, and we do have a presentation on that. Melissa from our finance department is going to go through that presentation. Melissa, I'll turn it over to you. And you have copies of the report in front of you also.
Good morning, trustees. As Jeff mentioned, I'm Melissa Fairbrush, the accounting manager here at the airport. I'll be sharing a brief financial update of our recently completed fiscal year 22 audit. But before I begin, I'd like to take a few minutes and recognize the airport finance team. Please stand. On their dedication and commitment to ensuring our financial records are accurate and we've met all accounting standards. Thank you. For fiscal year 2022, our external auditors are Allen Gibson Hewlett, AGH. AGH issued an unmodified clean opinion with no findings. The financial statements comply with all relevant pronouncements issued by the Governmental Accounting Standards Board. The department's net position increased $33.1 million, going from $589.7 million to $622.8 million. Capital assets increased $11.2 million. This was due to capital asset acquisitions of $40.6 million, offset by depreciation expense of $29.4 million. Total revenues increased $22.2 million for a total of $85.9 million. This was due to returning passenger activity and the continued recovery of COVID-19. Total expenses decreased by $475,000 for a total of $69.7 million. This was due to higher than normal personnel vacancies rate and the continued COVID-19 money applied. The management discussion and analysis can be found on pages 14 through 21 of your report. This provides for a more detailed comparison of our prior year and current year activities. With that, I'll answer any questions. Okay.
Thank you very much, and team, for your work on the audit. It's a job well done.
And Terry, I'll just add, also, great job, everyone. And the next year, just to forecast, is going to be with some additional challenges because besides closing the fiscal year, we'll also be doing the transition to Oracle. So it'll be a challenging year for all the city departments, including ours. But appreciate everyone's hard
Yeah,
work.
I would just add to that how much I appreciate the dedication of the financial staff and the team, really, in the way that you all manage to make sure that we stay in a good financial position, but especially coming through everything that we've experienced here over the last few years and the way it's just affected so many industries, but the airport industry especially. And so I really appreciate that leadership. And then just the dedication of knowing that we're doing things right, you know, reporting accurately and doing things well. I really do appreciate all of that. So thank you all.
Thank you. Our next item is Will Rogers World Airport. Oh, we need to receive that report. Is there a motion and second to receive the report? And it is received. Item passes. Next up, Will Rogers World Airport.
And Mr. Chairman, before I start on that, I do want to just highlight for the board, item 6A is a deferral until January 2023 meeting.
Okay.
So item 5A, Will Rogers Airport, professional services agreement with Mead and Hunt for terminal area master plan. Item B, professional service agreement with Campbell Hill for air service consulting. Item C, ratification and approval for a project for rehabilitate terminal access roadways to receive bids and in the amount of $2.2,581,680. Item D is to ratification and approval for parking lot pavement rehabilitation in the amount of $3.349957.10. Item E is to approve plans and project manual to move forward with the North Campus asphalt paving repairs and rehabilitation at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. Item F is to approve plans and project manual, move forward with South Campus asphalt paving repairs and rehab at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. Item G is to approve plans and manual, move forward with the Civil Aeromedical Institute chiller replacement at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. Item H is to approve the interlocal cooperation agreement with the state of Oklahoma and by the Oklahoma Arts Council for artwork at Will Rogers World Airport. Item I is amendment number 1 with Nash Construction for the U.S. Marshal Service Hangar Sallyport project. Item J is amendment 8 with Frankfurt Short Bruza with the terminal expansion for a decrease of $36,899.53. Item K is to add additional design services with Frankfurt Short Bruza for AAR Hangar 3B roof replacement. Item L is authorizing professional services with Frankfurt Short Bruza for Thomas P. Stafford generator replacement at Mike Monroney Aeronautical Center. And item M is to authorize services with Diversified Construction to install a floor drain and at the checked baggage inspection service area. That concludes those items.
Okay. You've heard the request for approval for Will Rogers. Is there a motion and a second? And the item passes. Next up, we have Wiley Post Airport.
Mr. Chairman, item A has been deferred, as has been identified. Item B is an assumption agreement, PWA Hangar Unit 1008. Item C is an assumption agreement, PWA Hangar Unit 302. And item D is a supplement number 5 to the hangar office lease agreement with Cooper Family Management.
Okay. You've heard the request for approval for Wiley Post. Is there a motion and a second? And the item passes. Next up, we had Clearance Page, but there's no items there.
Correct.
And so we'll move to general.
Item A is Amendment 3 for to Facilities Management Engineering Services Agreement with Guernsey and Company. And item B is a joint resolution with the Oklahoma City Airport Trust and City of Oklahoma City that revokes the minimum standards from October of 2016 and updates to current minimum standards effective January 1, 2023.
Heard the request for approval. Is there a motion and a second? Okay, and the item passes. Next on the agenda is a number of easements.
Yes, sir. Item A is an navigation easement for 3501 Metcalf Drive. Item B is a navigation easement for 5600 Southwest 36th Street. Item C is an easement for 2800 South Meridian Avenue. Item D is an easement for 10001 Old Tuscany Road. Item E is for an easement 11,301 South I-44 Service Road. Item F is an easement at 9401 Regina Avenue. And item G is an easement at 7601 North 79th Place.
Okay, we've heard the request for approval. Is there a motion and a second? And the item passes. Well, not yet. Okay, and the item passes. Okay. Next up, item 10 is requisitions. We have a resolution ratifying the actions of the Director of Airports and approving requisitions previously paid. And B, a resolution approving requisitions dated December 15th, 2022. Is there a motion and second for the approval of those requisitions? And the item passes. Are there any comments from trustees? Any comments from staff?
Does my microphone work?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just checking it out. Yeah. Thank you for the session this week. I thought that was great to have our mini retreat with a strategic plan on the airports, and I asked for that, so I appreciate everyone coming and putting that together, and for the new trustee, it was very, very helpful, and I'm excited about the direction of all the airports, and looking forward to working with you guys to implement the strategy and master plans, but I just wanted to say thank you.
Outstanding. Are there any citizens wishing to be heard? Seeing none, we want to wish everyone happy holidays and meeting adjourned.